If you want to hear more about the ancient world, welcome to part 5 of our Ancient World series. Today we're sailing across the Aegean Sea to the land of heroes and philosophers, ancient Greece. Get ready to explore the birthplace of democracy, the home of the Olympics, and a place where gods and monsters roamed free. Now grab your helmets and shields because we're about to take a whirlwind tour of this fascinating world. So let's get to it. First up, let's talk about geography. Ancient Greece wasn't just one big happy family. It was actually made up of many independent states or city-states like Athens, Sparta, Thebes, and Corinth. Each state had its own government and way of life, but they all shared a common language, religion, and culture. The two biggest and most powerful city-states were Athens and Sparta. We'll talk more about them later in the video. Next up, let's talk about politics and society. Ancient Greece was a radical place when it came to politics. In 1850 BC, the world's first democracy was born in Athens. This meant that citizens could vote and hold public office, which was super rare back then. Athens also had a strong navy and became the center of a huge trading empire, controlling many of the islands and coastal cities around the Mediterranean. But not all city-states were into democracy. Sparta was ruled by 2 kings and a council of elders. They valued obedience, courage, and strength above all else. Boys were sent to live together in barracks at age 7 and trained to be loyal Spartan soldiers. Imagine that. Now let's dive into culture and religion. Ancient Greece was a hotbed of cultural activity. The Greeks loved theater and created tragedies and comedies that explored all sorts of human emotions and experiences. Their plays often had to do with myths about gods and heroes and were performed in huge outdoor theaters like the one at Epidaurus. Speaking of gods and heroes, let's talk about religion. The ancient Greeks believed in a pantheon of gods who lived on Mount Olympus, like Zeus, Poseidon, and Hades. These gods were all-powerful and controlled everything that happened on Earth. The Greeks also believed in a bunch of lesser gods and goddesses, like nymphs, satyrs, and heroes, and they worshipped them through temples and festivals like the Olympic Games. Speaking of the Olympics, let's talk about daily life. The ancient Olympics were a huge deal. They were a religious festival held every 4 years in honor of Zeus. And they brought people from all over the ancient world together to compete in athletic events like running, wrestling, and chariot racing. The Olympics were also a time for celebrating peace and friendship, and it was forbidden to start any wars or fight during the games. Now, if you weren't training to be an Olympian, life in ancient Greece might have looked pretty different depending on where you lived. In Athens, men, women, and children could attend school and learn how to read, write, and do math. They also had plenty of opportunities to participate in government and hold public office. Now, in Sparta, boys were whipped into shape to become soldiers. At age 30, they were expected to marry and have kids, but their wives and children would continue to live separately in the barracks. Life for women in Sparta was actually pretty great compared to other places in the ancient world. They had more rights and freedoms than most, and could even own property. When it comes to food, the ancient Greeks loved fresh fruits and vegetables, fish and seafood, and they also enjoyed wine and olive oil. They didn't have things like refrigeration, so they mostly ate seasonal foods and preserved others through methods like drying and pickling. Now let's talk about technology and innovation. The ancient Greeks were pretty advanced when it came to technology, especially in terms of architecture and engineering. They developed new building techniques and invented tools like the crane and the Archimedes spiral. The Greeks also made amazing works of art, including sculptures like the discus thrower and the Venus de Milo, and paintings like the Theseus mosaic. And don't forget about those epic poems. The Iliad and the Odyssey are still read and performed today. Alright, now let's get into some conflicts. Ancient Greece was no stranger to war. The city-states often fought each other over land and power, and there were a bunch of smaller conflicts throughout history, like the Persian Wars and the Peloponnesian War. But perhaps the most famous conflict in Greek history is the Trojan War, which was fought between the Mycenaean Greeks and the Trojans over the kidnapping of Helen of Troy. The war is said to have taken place around 1200 BC and lasted for 10 years. The story of the Trojan War is told in Homer's Iliad, and it is filled with all sorts of crazy adventures and battles involving gods, heroes, and monsters. Now let's talk about Alexander the Great. He was the king of the Kingdom of Macedon, which was located north of Greece. Alexander was a brilliant military leader and he conquered much of the known world, from Egypt to India. He spread Greek culture and ideas wherever he went, and his empire helped connect the East and West. After Alexander died in 323 BC, his empire was divided among his generals, which led to a period of instability and decline in Greece. Finally, let's talk about legacy. Ancient Greece may have been a small corner of the ancient world, but its legacy is huge. The Greeks invented democracy, which has inspired countless revolutions and reform movements throughout history. They also gave us philosophy, the Olympics, Western literature and art, and some of the greatest stories ever told. And that's a wrap on ancient Greece. We just scratched the surface of this rich and complex civilization, but hopefully we've sparked your curiosity and inspired you to learn more. So what did you think? Which part of ancient Greece fascinated you the most? The epic battles, the legendary heroes, or the birth of democracy? Let us know in the comments below. And don't forget to like and subscribe for more awesome adventures through history. Until next time, keep learning and stay curious. Hey everyone, thanks for joining us on our journey through ancient Greece. If you liked this video, hit that thumbs up button and let us know in the comments section what you found most fascinating about ancient Greece. Did you know there's more to explore in the ancient world? Click on the links on screen to check out our videos on ancient Egypt and Mesopotamia. And make sure you subscribe so you never miss an exciting episode. We've got all sorts of adventures through history planned for you. So join the fun and let's learn together. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time on our channel.